Welcome to Evo Biz Devo with Isis Latham, your host, your hub for personal and professional growth since 2018. At Evo Biz Devo, we bring together entrepreneurs, business leaders, and change makers to spark ideas, share knowledge, and grow together. Stick with us as we explore fresh ways to expand networks, build resources, and create lasting impact. Let's get started. Your host, and today I have a special guest for you. I have the pleasure of introducing someone who brings both artistry and strategy to everything she touches, Pat Creedon. For years, Pat has helped businesses shine through powerful, purpose-driven design, whether it's logos, websites, or beautifully crafted books. Her passion for visual storytelling and her deep understanding of what makes a brand click has made her a trusted partner for companies big and small. Now, Pat is stepping into what I like to call the third act of her life, a season defined by bold reinvention and fresh purpose. She's building a business in financial services with the same thoughtful care and intentionality she brought to design. It's not just a pivot, though. It's an expansion into something that excites her, challenges her, and offers the potential for long-term impact and passive income. Whether you're a creative professional, an entrepreneur, or someone navigating what's next, Pat's story is full of insight and inspiration. So let's go ahead and dive in. So, Pat, I'm so glad to have you here today. And I love the new lighting. You look great.
Thank you.
You have been building a thriving design career rooted um, in creativity and problem solving. What drew you to financial services, and how do you see your design background complementing this new chapter?
Well, first of all, I always try to look at opportunities and see how they fit for me. And in my business, early on, I was given opportunities to work with wealth managers and CPAs and people in the financial industry. And I really liked working with them. And I've been doing their design work for them for years and years. One of them hired me right off the bat to work with him monthly on all his email outreach, all his white papers, everything. So I've been kind of learning about the financial industry and how to invest and all that on the side anyway.
Hmm.
So when this new opportunity came up last summer, I thought, well, passive income would be a really helpful thing to support my business because it does have ups and downs.
Yeah.
And I've always been a little bit fascinated by all this financial area, and I would love to know more. So worst case scenario, I'd learn something
Yeah.
that I could use myself, and best case scenario, it could be really a great extension to help my business. So.
You mentioned this has been something that is just a part of your kind of DNA, that you're creative, that you like to look at new information, new challenges, and say, how can this benefit me? When did you start to recognize that was your character trait?
People have told me that. I've been somebody who's tried to be open-minded about things
Mhm.
my whole life and see both sides and to see where things will help me and help others at the same time because I don't want it to just be one-sided.
Mhm.
So I've looked at other ways of gaining passive income, but they just didn't feel as right as this one. Just because it was so self-focused and not really didn't have that component of actually making an impact on others and helping them.
Now, I know the third act was my language that I shared. Was that something that you had ever heard of before?
Third act.
Yeah. As it relates to kind of as women, it seems especially,
Hmm.
they end up doing something that is new or different or and really impactful kind of later in their lives. So I was curious if it was something that you had heard of before, because I remember the first time I heard third act and I was like, wait, what is that? And then I realized that I was living it out already
Hmm.
and that it really resonated for me.
How do you identify the first and second act then?
Yeah, but that's a great question. So I think the first act for a lot of people is their career, right? Their
Mhm.
job, the one that they go to. So you had a first act. What was that for you?
My career?
Yeah.
Well, it was not my parents' goal for me to be an artist all my life. They knew that I had talent and I would sit in the corner and draw pictures all day. Um, they thought I should find something that would actually make money, you know. I wouldn't be a starving artist.
Yep.
But it didn't work out that I could do anything else. I was really compelled to do art. So
Yep.
when I found graphic design, which is like art, only you get paid for it, I really liked it. And so I pursued that since then. That was even before I graduated art school. So,
Hmm. And then you had a second act too, right? You were working for other companies, some very large companies. And then what happened at that point in your own path?
well, I'd been working 20 years at an agency where I got to work with some really major clients, and that was really cool. And they lost one of the clients, it was Dannon, I think.
Mm,
And so the boss came to me and said that they had to let somebody go. It wasn't anything to do with me, but I had been the creative director on it, and it wasn't anything to do with the creative, but they wanted to downsize at that point. So I got downsized out, and I decided, well, here's an opportunity to try this on my own. I think I know enough that I could try this on my own. So that was the second act.
yep, exactly. Well, and I just think that's so clever that you had that response because I'm sure that you've recognized that there are a lot of people who don't, that
Mm.
they sit back and they wait for something to come to them instead of going out and saying, I'm going to take this. So, and I'm going to ask it then. A lot of people do dream about a third act, but never take the leap. So, what gave you the confidence to start building a business again, this time in a totally different industry? What do you think it is that comes from deep within to make that reality?
Well, I really felt that this was a good industry to get into. Like I said, I had some exposure to it through my clients in the past. And so I knew that there were a lot of good people in this business and that they were really trying to help others. I had done a lot of book design for wealth managers, and it gave their backstory and how they had, come from poverty or something, or some challenge in their history that made them want to go out and help people with their money situations.
Yeah.
I just never thought that I would be appropriate for that because I was not a good math person, let's say.
Yeah.
Numbers I considered sort of an enemy and not a friend. But I felt like, you know what, I really need to know about this stuff. This is stuff I need to know. Everybody needs to deal with money and numbers.
Yep.
So if ISIS
And
has
there's
confidence in me,
And
then
there's so many tools to be
yeah.
able to do that. I have that conversation a lot with my children.
Mhm.
They're like, well, why can't we have a calculator when we're doing the test? Right? Will there ever be an opportunity where there's no calculator available to us to complete a transaction or an activity or whatever it is to figure out the information? And I have to tell them, yeah, you're right. You're not. And frankly, I wouldn't want to put myself in the position of trying to do math in my head that's going to impact somebody else. I'm going to be exact no matter what. Um, so you've worked with national brands, built a client-centered creative agency. What lessons from entrepreneurship are helping you to build your Primerica business with intention and vision?
I think having time management skills from early on, I needed to really get disciplined about coming to my little home office here 5 days a week, sitting down, doing the things, and figuring out how to balance that with, real life and all that. And so that was a big help. So I didn't really need to relearn all that. or learn it for the first time. I had that under my belt.
Yeah.
And then just being pretty focused and not letting things distract me too much, I've learned over the years as well. So,
And I'm curious if you are starting to see your own story unfolding also. You mentioned that you've helped other advisors to and financial professionals to be able to explore their story, to get it
mhm.
down in writing. Yours is going to be your own unique one. It's you don't need it to be the same as theirs, but are you starting to see your own story unfold and are you putting it down and recognizing it as part of your brand?
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Doing stuff like this is helping because you're forcing me to look at it all and talk about it all.
Don't let the cat out of the bag. I'm not forcing. So, whether it's a logo or a legacy plan, you're all about helping people present their best selves to the world. What do you hope clients gain from working with you on either side of your business?
Well, when it comes to design, I really hope that people realize that if they have a strong brand, then they can communicate better and it can help grow their business and really support it for the long term.
Mhm.
And that's what I want to bring to this new business, just being able to help people see the bigger picture and realize that getting all their finances in shape will help them for the long term and support whatever dreams they might have for their own family and future.
Yeah. Yeah. Money is nothing if it doesn't create the opportunity to live out your vision for your life. So, my last question for you is the person that wants to kind of orbit with you, they want to follow you, they want to see how you're managing your third act, how you're showing up as a professional in financial services, as well as in your brand business in Pat Creedon Designs. Um, how do they stay in touch with you? What's the best place? How do they do that?
Well, you can always call me.
Oh, good old fashioned phone. I love that.
Yes. Call or text at 203 252 0909.
Say that one more time for everyone.
203 252 0909.
I like that. And do they find you on LinkedIn or Facebook, any of the social media platforms?
I'm no longer on Facebook. They won't let me back in because I was hacked last year. But maybe there'll be a change over there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, Instagram, LinkedIn, I'm on Threads and Twitter. So
Oh, you're really covering all the bases. That's great. Well, we have enjoyed thoroughly getting to know you, but there's going to be somebody out there, maybe more than one somebody who's saying, I want to work with you. I want to work with Pat Creedon Design, or I want to have somebody like you helping to usher me through my financial decisions that I'm going to be making. How do they find you? How do they book time with you and get on your calendar?
well, I have a calendar link, and I could probably
We'll
put that
put
in
that in
the
the notes then.
in the chat
Great.
and uh, emails, of course. So let me just go do
That's
that.
great. And I'll share those in the show notes as well.
Okay.
One other thought, of course, is um, that we just want to say we loved having you here. I think this was exceptional, Pat, and it's really exciting to see you thrive and grow. And I want to say thank you for sharing your journey with such warmth and clarity. You've shown us that reinvention isn't just about starting over, it's about building on your strengths and following your purpose into new territory. So, if you're listening to this, whether you want to help you want Pat to be a part of your design or your financial services journey, it's clear that Pat is going to be able to help you succeed. This third act is already powerful and it's just getting started. Thank you so much for being here today, Pat.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Want to be our next featured speaker? Click the link in the description to register, and let's stay connected. Follow me on all those social media platforms for financial tips to help you make your money work smarter while you build financial stability. Stay tuned for more, and see you in the next one.